Hey y'all, it's your girl Leash.
And it's your boy Mean.
Thanks for tuning into Jonesin for the Truth podcast, where we keep God at the center and truth at the table. So if you've been Jonesin for some truth, you're definitely in the right place.
Let's get to it.
We're jonesing for the truth. We're jonesing for the truth. We're jonesing for the truth. It's got me and you. We're jonesing for the truth.
We're finally doing this, yo.
We're finally doing it.
It seemed like forever.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
And I know we kept saying, like, you know, coming soon. But, you know, life be life. And so.
Yeah, life do be life.
But we here now. I mean, y'all, anytime you really like doing something for Christ, you're going to hit so many roadblocks because the devil know. And I ain't trying to give him no glory or no praise. But he know there is greatness. There is purpose in this.
That's right.
So anytime you're trying to do anything for the Lord, just be prepared for that devil to show his face. But we're here. And we're doing this, Jonesin for the Truth podcast.
Yes, we here.
Yes. And I am super excited because it's been a long time coming.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
But we're here.
We're here. And it's a good thing. And everything that led us to being at this moment, we'll share with you guys because it binds us together more than ever.
Right.
Because we really had to stick together through all the trials and tribulations that occurred. But now that we're here, we have good things for you. Good advice, good conversation, good content. So, you know, just rock with us.
Yes. And we prayed about this, you know, like God gave us this and we believe that, you know, this is a part of our purpose because marriage is ministry.
Yes, it is.
And we're going to get into what that actually is because I feel like we live in a culture now where like marriage is like a joke, you know, like, and you hear like marriage is a piece of paper and all this other stuff. And I think we kind of just took the meaning what God created and we're making it something else that what is not to be. And God created, you know, marriage to be ministry. Anything that God created, he created with a purpose. Right. So if God created something with a purpose, then that means that he created marriage for a purpose. So, and by all means, right, we're going to share our experiences as husband and wife and, you know, what it looks like for us. And by all means, like this is we're not no marriage counselors, like we're not like giving you no advice on marriage, right?
No.
We're just sharing like our journey and our truth and we're keeping it real because also I think that when people get into, you know, marriages, they have like this, you know, like this, not necessarily this fairy tale, but they have like this image of what their marriage is supposed to be based upon, you know, these reality. Right, these social, cultural expectations or what they see on social media, and it's not always like that. It's not always. It's not a movie.
It's not a movie.
It's not a fairy tale. It's real work.
Two individuals coming together to become one flesh.
One flesh, and that's something on its own because you got two creations. You got two individuals coming together, different mindsets, right?
Yes.
Coming together as
to
one.
Think alike.
And that is hard. Like that is a deadly process, right?
Yes.
But we're doing it, right?
Yes.
We're almost at 11 years.
Almost at 11 years. And that is something to tip your hat to because it's a lot of work. That's what I wanted to, you know, add to what my beautiful wife was saying. You know, everybody want the ring, but they don't want the work.
Right.
You know, the ring is one thing, but the work is a whole horse of a different color.
Absolutely.
And you have to work for your marriage because if marriage is ministry, right?
Ministry.
Then what do you think the enemy sees marriage as?
Right.
So that's why we have to come out. You know, and many of you guys have to come out as well. And we have to put our foot down and stand up for the true marriages because there's a lot of people that wanted the ring, but they didn't want the responsibility of the ring.
Right.
So That's why people have a outlook on marriage like, oh, that's just a piece of paper because so and so's doing this and they're married. Well, you have all these things that try to back you up to what your logic is. But the real thing of it is, the fact of the matter is, rather, is that what work did they put in? You know, and then you can't judge what you see because you don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
No, you don't. Nope, not at all. So we are excited, you know.
Extremely.
And like I said, there was so many like roadblocks and challenges. Yes. I mean, sickness and like just schedule differences. Yes. But we made all kinds of different things that try to kind of prevent us from doing this because we know that God gave this to us. And it really started, like, we talk a lot.
Yes, we have our talks.
And about any and everything, you know, we talk about a lot. Just get a random, you know, in the mornings or whatever time, you know, we're spending time together. It's like something that we're always talking about, whether it's, you know, it could be sports, it could be politics, it could be family, it could be friendships, anything. Like we sit down and we have these long conversations and I'm like, wow, we saying some good stuff. And I believe, you know, like, you know, we should do this. And as, you know, praying and seeking God because we don't do anything unless we seek God
He's
first.
At the center.
Right? So
keep God at the center.
And this is what he gave to the both of us. And I know that, you know, he's going to get the glory out of us because he's using us for his glory. Right? So I'm excited about it. Like we have so much to share and it's just not like your typical marriage podcast. No, like we're going to share our experiences as husband and wife, but it's just not about that. We're going to talk about how did we get to this point, right?
Yes.
Because a lot of people ask, I had a cousin, shout out to Monique. She said, you know, like, how do you know how to be married? Like, you know, like, how do you know how to live with a man, right?
There's no handbook.
Husband and wife. And I'm like, no, it's not a handbook. But what we learn is to keep God at the center of our marriage.
You have to figure it out as you go. But at the end of the day, you have to have the understanding of respect and loyalty. You don't want to get married to a person that's not faithful and loyal to God first. Because if you're loyal to God,
unequally yoked.
That's it. That's the word.
Yes.
But if you're not loyal to certain things, especially in your spirituality, how can you be locked in on me? So what made me look at my wife, well, not at that time, made me respect her as just a woman and a spiritual woman was her walk. Fellas, watch the walk of the woman you think that is for you. Because if they walk upright, they'll walk upright with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't think, and there's no pointing the finger, but you can't think, oh, I found her on the club shaking her thing on the stage. She's gonna stop that because of me. No, that's her lifestyle. You're trying to change somebody out something that they like doing or they're accustomed to. But you have to look and you have to be patient. Just because she have a pretty face or just because he's handsome and tall doesn't mean that's your husband. You have to look more deep into it. You have to look how he or she reacts to critical situations. How do they fall and stay down, or do they get back up?
Right. And I think that back to these cultural expectations, you know, or the things that we see on social media, people, you know, you see so much. Social media is a gift and is a curse because, usually nobody's putting all, you know, the bad things. You know, no one's talking about the critical things like that happens and take places in a marriage. And I believe like some people, you know, it's just not honest. That's why I believe that before you get married, you definitely should seek some type of counsel, right? Talk to people. And let them know, you know, have a roundable, have a honest conversation with them. And that's what we want to do here. Like, we want to be honest. Like, even with questions, if you have questions with us or questions for us, send them to us. Like, we will answer them truthfully, right? Yes. Because we want to be honest. Like, we want to tell you, you know, what's going on. Like, what marriage is really like. And I know, like, there's no one size fit all, like, to marriage. Or, you know, what works for our marriage may not necessarily work for your marriage. But we should all have God in common, right? God should be in the center of all of our marriages. So we do have that in common. But going back to what my husband said, it's not like it's not always going to be rainbows and peaches and cream and I'm telling my age now, but
rainbows and ribbons.
It's not always going to be like that. And you hear is a new thing. My man, like showing your engagement ring, and
but you're not
sis,
showing the work.
bro, that is good, but marriage is more than a ring, right?
Work.
It's more than a wedding day.
It's
and sometimes, yes, and I think that sometimes we get so worked up for the wedding day, right? The wedding day, but not the marriage. We're preparing for the wedding day, but we're not preparing for the marriage.
Yes.
And you should be preparing for the marriage, not just the wedding day, because it takes work, right? But I can honestly say that I'm happy. Like, I am happy and I'm married. Are you happy?
Yeah, I better say I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy.
No, I'm serious.
Or this is going to be my last episode on it.
No. Are you happy?
I am happy. I'm happy because I represent... Listen, if a man is happy, then that man is going to give his family 110% energy. Every day I wake up, I find out a new way to give my family a percentage of me. I put my family before me. Now the saying is, you take care of yourself first, then you take care of your family last. Well, my family take care of me. That's why what my wife said, everybody have a different method. But the thing is, we need to start sharing, because if iron sharpens iron, then what are we doing? If you have 20 years over somebody that have 10 years, speaking to them, don't try to transform them until you're 20 years, because that don't make sense.
Right.
Talk to them, give them nuggets, give them first, foremost, don't give them your flesh part. Give them the spirituality part of how y'all made up to certain parts that didn't add up, if that makes sense. If I'm not meeting up to what I'm supposed to be to my wife, I should have the encouragement and the transparency to come to a man that been married longer than me and to get advice, good advice, not his downfalls, not which this or that, but to get something from him that I can put into my marriage.
Right.
That's how it's supposed to be. We all supposed to have a hand out to lift the other one up, not just this your marriage, this is my marriage. That's what society wants you to be.
Right.
They want you to be isolated and take yourself from out of the equation.
Right.
But God says, that's your brother, that's your sister.
Right.
You pick and you pull your brother and your sister up. And that's what we are here for. That's why we created this Jonesin with the Truth in Marriages Ministry, because it is, and this is the truth. And we Jonesin for it daily.
Daily, right? I'm excited. I really am. It's so much to kind of like really unpack, because like I said before, it's not just about marriage. We're talking about, family. We're talking about faith.
Yes.
We're talking about experiences.
That's right.
We're talking about trial and error, parenthood, like friendshiphood,
Let's
like
go.
all these different things that it's important to talk about, because what affects me affects you. What affects you affects me. So we talk about every single thing. So we just want to bring that to y'all and be honest with it. Because I feel like everybody say, oh, I'm going to keep it real, I'm going to keep it 100, but y'all lying.
Yes.
It's not like that at all.
Yes.
People do not like the truth today.
No,
like,
they don't. They run from it.
This generation, I'm not talking about all of y'all, but it's just so soft.
Yes.
Like, y'all don't want truth. Y'all don't judge me. No one's judging you, right?
Everybody judge everybody in a sense.
But we just want to be honest.
So we got to stop that. Don't judge.
We want to be honest of what really happened,
Yes. And
we've been together, 14 years. 14 years married, coming up.
But I've been knowing her for
forever,
a long time. Yeah, forever.
And we'll talk about,
that's
like how
episodes.
we met and all
That's
that. We'll talk about all that stuff.
And we'll talk about our personal journeys to this point. And that's something else to talk about, because she can share with you women and some of you men, about her journey as me and my journey. So that is episodes to come, and just lock in and stay tuned. We got you.
Yeah, it's a lot to come. And y'all know some more about us.
For everybody.
And we talked about before, like, these two worlds like coming together as one. Like we are two different people, especially because I'm from
Night
North.
and day. Come
North
on,
Philly.
come on. We gonna boo that one out. That might get,
I'm from North Side,
that might
right?
get edited out. I'm from South Philly, the best side of Philadelphia.
But okay, but we are excited. Like we are family, family doing this.
We're doing this, and just keep rocking with us, and you'll see what we have for you. We rock with us, and we're gonna definitely rock with you guys.
Yeah.
And just stay tuned to more real, solid, raw, transparent content.
Because the time is now, and it really
is.
hurts me when I hear people talking to students, because I teach predominantly.
She's in teacher mode now.
I teach predominantly male students, and
I told you she had
just to hear, just having conversations, because I have an open door, policy, and they come into my office and we talk. They talk about their girl problems and all that, and it's like, Miss Jones, I ain't getting married. Marriage is for nuts. I'm like, what? So you calling me a nut though?
See, that's a North Philly side coming out.
It's just sad to hear young people like just downgrade and just not take marriage, take marriage as what God created it to be. Yes. And it saddens me because it's not just a piece of paper. No, and you hear that, although people do treat it as a piece of paper, and they don't treat it as God intended it to be. And marriage can be so beautiful if you allow God to orchestrate it. If you let God be at the center of it. I'm telling you, and no, it has not always been easy.
No.
But has it been worth it? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Like, I can't imagine my life. He gets on my nerves, y'all. But I can't imagine my life without him, right? Yeah. And then nowadays, it's a lot.
You guys know.
It's a lot.
But
yeah.
But don't let what you thought you witnessed with marriage,
right, that
made your final thought of you're not getting married, or they treat it like it's a piece of paper.
Right.
Well, if it's so, then why the devil hates it?
Right.
That's the question you really have to ask. If marriage was nothing, let's just be transparent.
Right.
If marriage was nothing, it didn't mean nothing.
Right.
Why would the devil hate it so much and fight it? Mm-hmm. I thought it said, "He that find a wife find a good thing."
A good thing.
And obtain a favor from the Lord.
I'm in favor.
Right. So if I found a good thing, which is a wife, and obtain a favor from the Lord, you think it's not going to get fought?
Right. Absolutely.
See, these are the things that I'm saying. These are the things we say is not reality. It's from hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. Mm-hmm. I know it sounds like a cliche, but it is true.
It's true.
If I'm divorced and my divorce was a bad one, a messy one, so what you think I'm going to pour into you? Mm-hmm. I'm talking about to the viewers that's not married, they're looking to get married, but skeptical because they have trust issues. Well, sometimes you have to get out. That's what I mean by, and I don't mean to jump, but that's what I mean by saying don't judge. Well, you saying, I like a girl that's 5'5", thick in the thigh. Well, that might not be your blessing. Your blessing might be a little skinny thing. You know what I mean? With a little round head. It's not what you want, it's what you need.
What you need.
See, right, you search for what you want, but you never search for what you need. Mm-hmm. And that's for the men. And for the women, just because he's 6'8" doesn't mean he's great. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, date short. I'm just saying, you got to ask God, what do I need? Not what do I want? Because if he give you what you need, what you want, you're gonna think God did you dirty. But he didn't. He gave you what your heart desired. Mm-hmm. So whatever's on your heart, that's where your treasure is. Mm-hmm. Just keep that in mind.
And be patient. That's
it.
And you got to pray. Women and men, who's seeking to be a wife and seeking to be a husband, work on yourself.
Yes.
Work on yourself first, right? Because sometimes, and some people say, I just want to be happy. No. You should be happy yourself, within yourself first.
Before you get married.
No one happy before you get married. Happiness comes from within, right? It doesn't matter, if you marry someone, that person can't make you happy.
Go ahead.
They can't. And a lot of, and this is what I mean about these expectations and all of the stuff that we see is fake. It's
Yes.
not real.
Microwave
And
marriages.
it blows my mind, but I'm not here to judge or I'm
No.
not here to criticize you.
We're here to
I'm
tell the
here
truth.
to help you as we learn
Yes.
together. You know, you got to be happy first. A man cannot make you happy. A woman cannot make you happy. God makes you
Yes.
happy, you know?
Yes.
But while you're in the wait, work
Yes.
on yourself.
Work on yourself.
Do the work for yourself.
That's a
work,
nugget.
Ask God to show you, you know, how to be that Proverbs 31 woman.
Yes.
Right? And we're going to talk about something, not going to get into too much detail right
Yes.
now, but you got to work on yourself. Figure out, you know, fix yourself up. Figure out,
Yes.
you know, your insecurities and your
Yes.
fears and your doubts and
Strengthen
all of
yourself.
these things. You got to find out
Strengthen
those
yourself.
things before you come into this marriage, because
Yes.
some people go into the marriage like, oh, I'm going to get married because I know he's going to make me. No. You got to be happy before you get married,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody, it's just, we just want to shed light on, you know, what it means to be in a marriage but have God at the center of the marriage. And like I said before, we're learning this. You know, we coming up on 11 years, so we've experienced some things, and it wasn't always perfect. It's still not perfect. Like, we're still learning things. We're still learning each other, you know? But God has to be at the center of it. If you don't have God in your marriage, then you messing up.
It's not on stable ground.
Nope.
Build your marriage on the principles of God.
Right.
Because if you build your structure on God, meaning he's in the center of me and her, he's right in the middle. If we build our marriage on that structure, it will be on stony ground, so it won't move when storms come. It won't shake, it won't budge, and it won't sink, because we didn't build it on sand, not with our understanding. We built it on God and the principles of God. You know what I mean? So when storms came our way, because yes, they came our way, and they try to blow us apart. That's what storms do. Storms either break up or they draw apart, but we remain the same because of God. It wasn't because Alicia is so great and Kameen is so powerful. No, it's because our commitment to God.
Right.
And we will not, and God hasn't failed us yet, and he won't. So why would I fail my wife, and why would she fail me?
Right.
And that's when we lean on. She throw herself on the bed and she
Right.
prays.
Right.
You know what I mean? Fellas, when your woman prays for you and you hear her crying and reaching out for God, if that's not sexy, I don't know what sexy is. If she slide down the pole with grease and hit the floor, that's sexy for you? That's cool. But for me and the guys I know, and the guys out there that know, when it's real, you feel it. You know what I mean? When it's judged, you cringe. That's the thing about it. Don't let the world tell you what judging is. If somebody's saying, I'm not telling you is wrong, I'm trying to steer you away from that to point you to right. That's called, when we was coming up, that was called an old head or a mentor. See, they trying to take these words out of you,
Right.
so they can manipulate you with these words. Oh, that's judgmental. Oh, don't let nobody tell you what to do with your life. No. This podcast is not telling you what to do with your life.
Right.
This is leading you to what you think that marriage is. When you had that pure thought, this is what it is. It's a fight. It's a battle. It's an honor. It's about loyalty. It's about being transparent and being connected. If I can't come to her and she can't come to me, what are we here for?
Right.
That part.
Right. Okay, babe.
Yeah, we going in. I said let's get to it. So we're going to get to it.
We getting into it.
But,
It's important
yes.
because, and it's important when I was sharing earlier about just working on yourself before, before you get into a relationship and before you get into a marriage, and wait on God.
Yes.
Don't go out there trying to choose your own mate, because you can mess up. The worst thing you can do is to be with somebody that God didn't put you with, right?
Right.
And a lot of people make mistakes that way.
Yes, we all.
They and I have too, right?
Yes, I had some creatures making them mistakes, and creatures they were.
But it's so important to wait on God and to
Yes.
allow God to choose your spouse for you.
Have
and
to.
I'm not saying it's all going to be perfect.
No.
But we know that, whoever God put together,
Right.
no man can separate it.
Yes.
So it doesn't mean he talked
Yes,
about
that's
that
right.
foundation. So it doesn't matter if the rain come or the storms come or, somebody is
matter.
coming against your marriage or,
don't matter.
you might have financial things, you might have health things or all these things that try to shake and try to
Yes.
break you.
Right.
But what God put together,
Right.
nothing can separate
That's the
it.
word. Let no
Nothing.
man.
So
What
you
I put
gotta wait
together.
on God. It's important. It is so important
It's
to
extremely-
wait on God, and it's so important for God to be at the center of your marriage.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
God is the center of attraction.
Yes, He is.
And
Yes, He
that's
is.
what it is.
Yeah.
And that's just a PowerPoint. So, definitely, take heed, please, to what, been said and what's been spoken and what's more to come.
Right.
And if you love what's going on, just keep rocking with us because we're cooking up.
We definitely
'Cause
are.
I see baby girl, she cooking up over there. I can feel the
We
vibration.
just excited. It's just time
It's
now,
been a
and
long time.
like we gotta,
Yeah.
it's
a lot of
God
build
is
up.
good, and I'm excited and grateful
Yes.
for how He's using us
Yes.
and what He's going to do
Yes.
in us and with us and through us.
Yes.
And our agenda is not to draw people for likes and
No,
it ain't nothing.
No,
it
no,
ain't
no.
got nothing to do with that. As long if one person gets saved, if one person say, "I'm going to work on my marriage," if one
Man,
person
that's what
say,
it's about.
"I'm going to consider," then we did our job.
We did our job,
right? And
right?
that's what we're here to do. And like
That's
I said
it.
before in the beginning, we are not marriage counselors because these people,
Don't let them twist it up.
it's
Don't get
it's
it
not
twisted.
because
'Cause we got the people
I
out
hear
there.
you. I
Yeah,
listen.
yeah.
It ain't got nothing
you
to
hear
do.
'em?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
It don't have nothing
Yeah.
to do with we're not marriage
No,
counselors.
no.
We're just sharing our experiences, and our prayer is that someone can hear and say, one, what must I do to get saved? Or
Yes.
what must I do to get myself together? Or
Yes.
what must I do to get closer to God? And
Yes.
that is the goal, right?
Yes.
Whether, you don't have to be married to tune
No,
into
you ain't
our
gotta be- no.
podcast.
No.
You could just be in the wait, right? And
Yes.
you're going to learn, what it means to wait because
Yes.
I had to wait too,
We all.
and it's just something. I'm just excited because there's a lot
all.
to come.
Yes.
There's a lot of things to kind of share that we want to share with you all, and it's just not about it's not just about marriage. And we said before, we are two different people. We come from
Yes,
two different worlds,
Yeah, two
and we're
different
coming
walks.
together as this one flesh.
Yes.
And I'm excited for what God is going
Yes.
to do through not just this podcast, but through our ministry.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
marriage is ministry,
Yes.
and that is our ministry.
Yes.
And we are
Yes.
super excited about
Yeah.
it. So
We're just being obedient.
stay tuned.
We're just being
And
obedient.
obedience is definitely
Yes.
is better than sacrifice.
Yes, it
And we
is.
know that all things work together for the good of them who love God and are called according to His purpose.
That's
so
the word.
thank you guys so much
Thank
for
you so
tuning
much.
in with us. Thanks for vibing with us. If we said anything that helped you, make sure you follow us on social media, share with someone who needs it, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you'll never miss an episode.
Remember, real change start with real truth. Marriage is ministry, and there's a purpose in yours. God bless.
Bye.
Thank you.